Welcome. We're now here to talk about the problem 1/2 log base 1.5 x squared minus 2 minus 1/3 equals 1/5. As always, I have to analyze this problem and find out what interacted last with the x so I can take that part off first. So I see we have the x all inside of this logarithm, then that log was multiplied by 1/2 and finally subtracted by 1/3. So the last thing that I have and the first thing I'm going to undo is this 1/3. So I'm going to add 1/3 to both sides. Add 1/3 to both sides, and I will get 1/2 log base 1.5 of x squared minus 2 equals, now I have to add a fifth and a third together. That can be a little bit tricky, but we find the common denominator. The common denominator is just 5 times 3, which is 15. And I'm going to notice that this part is 15, this part is 15, and this is 3/15 because I had to multiply the 5 by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. And here I had to multiply the 3 by 5 to get 15, so I get 1 times 5, which is 5/15. Put those together, and now it becomes pretty clear that we have 5/15 on the bottom, 3/15 on the top, and so we have 8/15 altogether. Now I look back at the problem again, and it seems to me that the next part that we're going to undo is this 1/2. So to get rid of this 1/2, I'm going to multiply by 2. You could, of course, divide by 1/2. Dividing by 1/2 and multiplying by 2 is the exact same thing. So I'm going to multiply by 2, and that's going to give me log base 1.5 of x squared minus 2 is going to equal, now I have 8/15, but I multiplied by 2, so that means I multiplied the numerator, because the 15ths just tell us what the size are of all the pieces. I have 2 of those collections, so I now have 16/15 altogether. So I had 8/15, I multiplied by 2, I now have 16/15. Okay, at this point, I now have a logarithm. We have to remember, how do we undo logarithms? And you remember, logarithms are undone by using exponentiation. What is the number that we're going to be working with? The number we're going to be working with is this 1.5. So this 1.5 needs to be used in an exponentiation. So that means we need the 1.5 to be the base of the exponent, and for both of these things to go up in the exponent itself. So that means on the left here, I'm going to add a 1.5 here, and then all this is going to be raised to that power. On the right, I'm going to add a 1.5 here, and the 16/15 are going to be raised to that power. So as I look at this problem on the left, I realize that the reason why I added the 1.5 exponentiation is because the exponentiation and the log undo each other, and so we're left with just x cubed minus 2. I realize I've been typoing just a little bit, and that both of these were 3's. It's easy to do, it's easy for you to do, it's easy for me to do, just to get something just written a little bit different. But it's x cubed minus 2 is what we get on the left. And on the right, we have 1.5 raised to the 16/15. I kind of would like to make this a number, so I'm going to grab my calculator, maybe we can see it, and I'll do 1.5, I'll type my caret, and I'll do 15 divided by 16. That'll give us a nice decimal answer we can work with. 1.462. That seems pretty reasonable. So this equals 1.462. Now I have only a few steps left. I need to add 2 to both sides, and I will get x cubed is equal to 3.462. And then the last bit is to get rid of the cube. Well, we can't forget what we've done earlier in this semester. We undo cubes by using cubed roots. And so when we take the cubed root, we get an x all by itself. Now, we have to take the cubed root of this 3.46. So I'm going to use my calculator to do this, and I'll have to work a little bit to make it all look nice. I don't have a cubed root button. Some of you have a cubed root button that looks something like this. And if you have a button that looks like this, you can type it and use the 3 before it. And so you can type 3 and then this button, and that means the cubed root of 3.462. I don't have that button, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise 3 to the 1/3 power. And why 1/3 power? Because 1/3 power is the same as the cubed root. So if I want to use a cubed root, I can raise to the 3rd power. We'll go into this in much greater detail in just a few weeks as we start talking about exponents and how to work and manipulate with them. But for now, I'll just take my 3.462 and I will use my caret, and then I'll put a 1/3 and I'll hit enter and see what I get for my answer. And for my answer I get 1.512. 1.512, which, oh, that's slightly different than the answer I gave you on the other page. The difference is that this time I rounded before I took the cubed root, and last time I didn't round. I left the number with all of its decimals in, so that gave me a slightly different answer. They're pretty close, but they're not identical. For right now in the class, it's acceptable to do both. If you're in a situation, in a highly technical situation where you need to worry about those 2nd and 3rd decimal places, there are rules to follow and care to be taken about it. But for this class, I'm quite satisfied if you just know if you can just get the answer pretty close. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.